is he really a car? No. So, but he believes he's a car, so he moves his bed from the bedroom to the garage. Is he a car? Okay, he walks around and makes room sounds when he moves around. Is he a car? Wrong believing creates wrong thinking, and he's got wrong actions. Does that make sense? If you want to fix that, you got to change what he believes. A lot of people would stop at trying to deal with his actions. His actions won't change, y'all, until you change what he believes. He's acting that way because he believes he is something that he is not. As a man thinketh in his heart. How many believers do we have right now that don't think or don't believe they are blessed when they have been blessed? So they act like they don't think they're blessed because they don't believe they're blessed, and now they don't act like blessed folk, not because Jesus did not bless them, it's because of what they believe affecting what they think and thereby affecting their actions. So here's what. So this is kind of where we have laid out kind of our premise in the lesson, and so I want to pick up tonight and really start dealing with this whole grace thing to make sure we have a good grasp on this. Somebody say grace is where I am right now. Now here's how I want to approach this. That's kind of the end of our review. This is how I want to approach it. Anybody ever been lost like at a mall or in a complex and found a complex map somewhere in the mall, in the complex, and it had the little red dot that said you are here? Now that's on there for a reason, because just because you see the map does not mean you know where you are. The dot is designed to help you locate exactly where you are so you can get to exactly where you need to be. Oh boy, what I need to do tonight is make sure we find out where the red dot is for us. Y'all, I'm gonna say it again. We need to find out where the red dot is for me. Because once I find out where I am, and I have to agree that I am where the dot says I am. Listen, it would be wild for you to be at Shore Pump and the red dot says you're in front of Macy's and you keep saying you're not. And now, hold on, so you turn all the directions around because you refuse to agree that the dot is exactly where you are right now. Boy, I'm saying something because you've got to understand, once we locate us, you're going to have to agree that this is exactly where I am, because if you don't, you're going to go back to operating a certain way, and it's going to affect your results that you're getting. Does that make sense? Ephesians chapter 2. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 8. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 8. And I want to look at this probably three ways. King James, or New King James, Amplified, possibly even the Message Bible. Amen. Ephesians chapter 2. Verse 8, and when you find it, somebody say amen. All right. Now, come on and let us read this together. Ready? Read. For by grace, stop right there. I need to add some things just to make sure we understand what we're reading. Through faith, not just faith, but through faith in Jesus Christ. Does that make sense? For by grace you have been saved. How? Through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand. All right, let me get verses 8 and 9 in the Amplified before we move on. Look at this. Verses 8 and 9. In the Amplified version of the Bible. Come on, read that to me, church. Ready? Read. Forward. Grace is what? Free. It's free. Tell your neighbor that costs anything. And y'all know we like free. It is by free grace, God's what? That you are delivered from judgment. Through your faith, and this salvation is not of yourselves, of your own doing. Stop right there. So hold on. So that tells me clearly, we didn't do anything to earn this salvation. It didn't come because we were good. Didn't come because we were right. Didn't come because we had it all together. It was a free gift, and we got it by faith in Jesus Christ. Does that make sense? Matter of fact, let me show you the Message Bible, just for the sake of showing it to you. I just like the way it sounds. Message Bible, verses 8 and 9. Let's see that together in the Message Bible. Look at that. What does that say? Saving is all God's idea. All his work. All we do is trust him enough. So now I want us to be clear on that one point, that we've been saved by faith in Jesus Christ and not by works. Okay, hold on to what I'm gonna say. If works doesn't get me in, works don't get me out. Okay, I remember the message is detoxing from religion. I know I'm getting that look again. I got it on Sunday. Okay, I'm gonna start all over again. I'm gonna back the bus up. Okay, open the door again. All right, if works doesn't get me in, then works don't get me out. I see. I'm gonna take my time because some of y'all struggling with that. Like, no, okay. I got in by faith in Jesus Christ. The only way I get out is to deny Jesus. Works didn't get me in. Works doesn't get me out. I'm not saved by works. I'm saved by faith in Jesus, right? I'm going to deal with the works part later because some of y'all struggling with that. But let's get this down. How we use the example that a person can have Jesus on the inside of them. Lifestyle be totally jacked up. They are still saved. It's not the best state for them to be in. They shouldn't live like that. But you can't say they're not saved because their works don't save them. Faith in Jesus is what saves them. We got, as a church, we got to get that down. We got to get that down. Got to get that down. So there's no, I'm getting ahead of myself. So there's no telling people you got to get your stuff together before you come to Jesus. Also, we said this. We said we got to stop throwing stones at folks because some of us are just at different stages in our development. Remember we looked at a tree, we saw a sapling apple tree, we saw a medium-sized apple tree, and we saw a full-grown apple tree with apples on it. All of them were apple trees. They were just in different stages of development. Just because you have more fruit than somebody else does not give you the right to throw stones at a sapling because at one point you were a sapling yourself. Okay, does that make sense? Now, we got that straight. All right, now let's go here. Romans chapter 6 and verse 12. I told you we're going to work a little bit. We had to make sure we got that down. Works didn't get me in. Works didn't get me out. Right? I could just be undeveloped. Don't have my mind renewed. Doesn't mean I haven't called on Jesus. Okay? Not to say they should stay there. Not to say that's God's best state for them to be in. They've called on his name. They are born again. Okay? Good. All right, now, let's deal with this. Romans chapter 6 and verse 12.
They haven't surrendered.
We're on our way to somewhere. All right? Now, let me read this to you. Now, it says this. Therefore, do not let sin reign in your mortal body, that you shall obey it in its lust. I'm going to deal with that Sunday. The reason he can say that is because he's in you now. Okay, I'm going to let that, because he'll never ask you to undo something or do something that he doesn't first equip you to handle it. Okay, all right. It says, and do not present your members as instruments of unrighteousness to sin, but present yourselves to God as being alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness to God. For sin shall not have dominion over you. Now this is important. For you are not under the law, but what? Remember that red dot? Remember that red dot? The dot's right there. You just found it. So the question is, where as a believer right now, where am I? I am a New Testament believer who lives under what? He said, you're not under the law. So listen, doesn't mean that the Old Testament is bad. Doesn't mean we rip it up. Doesn't, because the Bible clearly says it was written for our learning and it was written for our admonition. Does that make sense? So we are supposed to see their examples and learn from them, but I am not under the law. Oh boy, I didn't get enough. I am under grace. Does that make sense? And if this is what I'm under, then I need to find out the rules and the regulations, so to speak, that go with where I am now. Because what we have been doing, and all of us, including myself, have been guilty of it, is going back and pulling Old Testament principles and requiring people to do things that are really Old Testament law while they are really under grace in the New Testament. Oh boy, I can't help. And here's some of the things, because, all right, in the Old Testament, God operated off of fear, the fear of God. New Testament, he operates off love.